Jenifer Bamuturaki, the CEO of the Uganda Airline, has been dismissed. Although this decision comes late, but it is one of the best things to ever happen to the Uganda Airline. In an email that was made public on social media, it is as follows. It was written by Jenifer Bamuturaki to Uganda Airlines staff. Dear colleagues, the board will advertise the position of Chief Executive Officer shortly, and you are all encouraged to apply if you meet the required qualifications. The job description and application form will be published on the website. That is the email that was written to by Jenifer Bamuturaki saying that the position is going to be re-advertised. First of all, I keep on telling people that the NRM government is one of the worst managers of the government entity. In 2022, J. Sonyonyi, by then he was leading the COSASE, he unearthed a lot of rot within the Uganda Airline. But because mafias, who I'm going to talk about in this video, wanted Jenifer Bamuturaki to stay, of course, with the bad leadership of General Kaguta Museveni, he retained Jenifer Bamuturaki as the CEO of the Uganda Airline. And it took almost 3 years when they are mismanaging our carrier to an extent of the recent cries across the country to show that the airline was bad off. One of the interviews that was done by J. Sonyonyi, it was, I think, on Capital Radio. He came out to reveal that those who are running our bad were incompetent and lacked qualifications. In fact, J. Sonyonyi said this statement.
Of the order, I asked Uganda Airlines officials to give me the HR manual. It was handed over to me by the CEO. Then I asked each of them to give me their CV. I said, I'm going to use your own documents that you've given me. You know, the people who are saying Sonyonyi is witch hunting Jenifer. I used the very documents. I said, okay, so here is the HR manual. These are the qualifications for CEO. Your CV is saying otherwise. They have a commercial director, not commercial officer, not commercial manager, director, whose highest qualification, according to the CV she gave me, is a Senior 6 certificate.
Senior 6.
Commercial director of Uganda Airlines.
But even for your position, Senior 6.
That's the law. You see, that's the point. That's what the law.
It's an elected
you know,
position.
Oscar, I have 2 degrees. I'm currently doing a 3rd, but they were not necessary when I was going to be nominated. You know why? Because the minimum is Senior 6. That's what so all these other degrees that I have, I didn't have to hand them in because they were not necessary. If they were necessary, I would have brought them out. So now the requirements for this particular job were these ones, and they're not there. And then you get to look at so many other things that are happening. This lady is a partner in a company which she hired at over 2 billion shillings without following procurement regulations. There was no competitive bidding, they just handpicked it. Then we discovered she's the silent partner therein. So you don't have qualifications, you are flouting procurement and all of that, losses are happening, and you expect things to run right away. They will just not, you know, and it's...
That is J. Sonyonyi. So J. Sonyonyi did his own job, told everyone that the managers of the Uganda Airline was incompetent, but they were retained. Now, although it was a good decision, but we cannot jubilate for incompetence. The reason as to why different countries grow, it's not by mistake. It's because by a plan. They punish bad leadership. They punish incompetence. It is the truth. In fact, for me, I pray not only to dismiss Jenifer Bamuturaki, but also to try him for the failures, for the losses of over 500 billions in that airline. So the purpose of this video, I've come to show you how the mafias played hard for Jenifer Bamuturaki to stay. Okay, the incompetence and leadership of this government, but most importantly, the study materials you can learn from the politics of our nation. But before I do this, I want to let you know that if you're new to this channel, please subscribe. And if you're watching this video from a different platform, please head on to YouTube, type in Sula Mawagari. There's a lot of content of this nature. If geopolitics and economics is what you want, this will be definitely the right channel for you to subscribe to.
I have what it takes to run this airline, and nobody can take that away from me. It is my gift. I can do it, and I'll do it. Not alone, by the way, because I work with a team. And that team in there, combined, we have close to 100 years of experience together. And all of us together have what it takes to run this airline. That's why it hasn't dropped out of the sky.
First of all, we all came to know the gravity of what was happening in the Uganda Airline when the IGG report was given to the then COSASE chair, Jenifer, and he unearthed a lot of rot within the airline. In fact, I've never seen the incompetence of this government. After knowing that rot, they turned it political. And now they are coming out to act on something that was unearthed in 2022. During cross-examination, Jenifer unearthed a lot of rot. In fact, one of the viral videos was this, where the CEO was getting a lot of money, ridiculous payment per diem, where he never even traveled. In fact, here's a tape.
For which I want proof that you traveled. All these others, you did not travel, and yet money was given to you, and now it's over a year. So now that you didn't travel, whatever the reason, did you refund that money? Because that's part of accountability. Either I traveled, here is evidence, or I did travel, but now that the money has been sent to my account, here it is, I have refunded it. Did you refund the money? Yes or no? It's a simple answer because the money was paid to you. So it can only be you to either have refunded it or that you didn't refund it. So did you refund the money? Yes or no? Madam Jenifer, I'm talking to you.
That is Jenifer doing his job. So you clearly see that after unearthing a lot of report, there is no sober Ugandan or sober leader would retain Jenifer Bamuturaki as CEO. But because we have competent leadership in Jerry Kaguta Museveni who does not punish failure, there are some people in the government who their heads must roll, but Jenifer Museveni keeps them there. Do you know why? In fact, every time I see Jenifer Museveni speak about corruption, I laugh. Because Jenifer Museveni cannot fight corruption because he knows NRM thrives on corruption. It never takes long to act. The reason why countries like China, Singapore, Malaysia grew, it was because of punishing incompetence and ineptness. In Uganda, there is no such a thing. It's the reasons why we fight hard. Do you know that even when Jenifer made a report, it was blocked on the floor by none other than the Speaker Anita Among? In fact, Speaker Anita Among and Parliament acted as a conduit not for the report to be tabled because it was going to show the world how incompetent the CEO was. In fact, during the COSASE meeting, Speaker Anita Among wrote a letter stopping the investigation and that they must not be done when the media is seeing. Can you imagine? For as the Speaker of Parliament to come out and say that there are some things that I'm not supposed to show the media when they are catching corrupt officials. In fact, here is when Jenifer read this letter.
I wish to bring to your notice that the aviation industry is a highly sensitive industry, and as such, some discussions, if made public, can be construed to mean that the airline can never be trusted, thus endangering its future viability. Pursuant to this, I further humbly request that all further meetings of the airline with your esteemed committee should be held without the press to limit damage to the entire airline. We take this opportunity to assure you of our commitment to cooperate with you for the good of the airline. Yours sincerely, Priscilla Mirembe Seruka, Chairperson, Board of Directors. I get the feeling that Uganda Airlines is trying to run away from scrutiny. All these are games you people are playing to run away from public scrutiny. That's the feeling that I get, you know, and that's why you choose to inform us right now when we are already ongoing. I now see a letter by your board chairperson saying, look, you know, we want to come, but please let the media not come. This is a public accounts committee. We account to the public. Uganda Airlines is a public entity because the taxpayer injects money in this entity.
That is the letter that was written by the Speaker of Parliament, and Jefferson read the letter to the media, saying that he was asking them not to show them on media. Can you imagine? You are searching corrupt officials, and they tell you that you should not show on the media. In fact, even the CEO, when they are interrogating him, he used to be a visitor to the Speaker of Parliament and Deputy. It's the reason. In fact, I will make a separate video to show you how sometimes the leadership of Parliament, when there are matters of corruption, they try to sit on them. Even when they are investigating the Ham Mall, where it is being built, the Speaker of Parliament, there is a way he did it, because apparently the mayor had come out to say that the deputy also has a land on a trench. It's a very beautiful development now, but the way they handled it was ugly. So you clearly see that there was no will of fighting corruption. There was no will to bring the CEO of this bird to account. It is the truth. Even that day when this report was going to be read, Speaker of Parliament Anita Nintamong stopped it from being read on the floor of Parliament. In fact, this is what happened.
Senyonyi inquired about the fate of the two pending reports.
I have two reports, one of Uganda Airlines and Uganda National Roads Authority, which are ready. So I beg to be guided on how I proceed, Madam Speaker.
I am guiding that you present a report of UNRA. There was a problem in the airlines, is it airlines? Where there was a leakage that was brought, that we ruled upon. We ruled upon that leakage. There was a leakage of a report. A property of this Parliament cannot leak out, and you still continue debating on it.
The accountability committees headed by the opposition came under fire from a few other MPs who leveled a barrage of accusations against them, bordering on incompetence and compromise.
Personally, as a member of COSASE, I lost interest in the committee because I could no longer see value of my time and integrity. I could see whatever is being run in that committee. There are so many underhands. So I felt very...
Alex, are you insinuating that there was corruption in the committee?
Of course.
Ruhunda was challenged on the corruption accusations against the committee on grounds that he was absent from meetings and for his actions as the investigation was being carried out.
Honorable Ruhunda and the team are on record to have gone to the media, terming it as a Toro affair. Yes, saying that this is one of us from Toro, don't touch her. So it cannot be the same Ruhunda indicting all the members of COSASE as if there is anything wrong.
And I would like to ask my brother, the Honorable Alex Ruhunda, to be calm. He was the chairperson of a committee in the 10th Parliament, the Committee of Trade. Remember? And was disbanded.
For me, I don't want to be seen that my chairpersons are corruptible. No. But if there is no evidence to that effect...
That is the Speaker of Parliament. In fact, people are supposed to be investigated. It is Parliament. How come that first of all, the Speaker told the journalists not to cover the stories in COSASE? Second of all, even when the report was going to be read, he stopped it. Okay? People like the tourism minister then, Butime, scared Julius Sanyoni. He scared him. It is the truth. In fact, Julius Sanyoni on a tweet in 2022 he came out to say, yesterday I got a call from tourism minister Tom Butime threatening and intimidating me over Uganda Airline probe because apparently Jenifer Bamuturaki is his relative. I've reported this at CPS reference number GF60-2020 for it to be on record. No one, I repeat, no one will cause me to back down. A tourism minister threatened the COSASE chair. If indeed the government was willing to fight corruption, they would have investigated Tom Butime. Can you imagine people like Balam, people like in the government mafias? Of course, Balam is a shrewd businessman who does business with the government, where government holds celebration is the one. In fact, he has gotten billions in government. He was defending Bamuturaki. You never know he was doing maybe, or may not be having evidence, but you never know he was maybe doing business with Bamuturaki. Can you imagine even Bamuturaki hired the PR companies to smear campaign the committee which was investigating? Among the people who were hired, there was Irumba. Irumba is normally here on social media telling us that he speaks what others fear to speak. Yet he was also a conduit to cover up the mess in the Uganda Airline. Now Jenifer Bamuturaki was being vindicated. In fact, Jenifer Bamuturaki in a committee also read how 2 billion shillings was paid to PR companies owned by the CEO to fight propaganda and the committee. In fact, Jenifer Bamuturaki said this statement. That is Jenifer Bamuturaki. So for me, I pray, one, Bamuturaki should not just got away with our money and the losses. He must be investigated and jailed, like it was for the KCC executive director. At least, we should stop praising mediocrity where someone is appointed to be executive director, swindles money, makes losses, and you just chase him to go home with billions. Some people must pay for these acts. And it is time for Bamuturaki to pay. Jenifer Bamuturaki has been vindicated. Okay? Jenifer Bamuturaki has been vindicated in all of this. Of course, as my opinion remains truly, Mr. Makindi, Kabir Sulaiman Mahagali. If you're new to this channel, please subscribe, like, and comment so that I can be motivated to do more of such videos. I'll see you on another one. Peace.